Hey, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in again. And if it's your first time here, please go back and check the intro video. It will give you a little bit of perspective about what these upcoming clips and things will be about. So I've got two things I want to speak to you guys straight away, jump straight in deep end. One is a small confession, and the other one is about the nature of this video. So this video is going to be about logos and branding and keeping things on brand. And I'm going to explain what that means in a little bit more detail. I think it might be a bit controversial because I don't think the majority of people would suggest that this would be the next step or the first step. But I've got my reasoning, and I'm going to explain that very shortly. The second point is, if those of you that saw my intro video heard me promise that I was going to keep these videos under 5 minutes, and that first video was 6 minutes long. So I've got a new pledge, and that is that these videos are going to be under 10 minutes in total. Because I just don't think I can do what I need to do and do it justice in 5 minutes. So here we go. There's my first fail and learn, and you're here on that journey with me. So let's talk about why I think logo and branding is really, really important. I started streaming with 4 or 5 friends, and we all started exactly at the same time. My growth has been 2, 3, 4 times greater and quicker than some of my closest friends that have streamed actually just as frequently and regularly as what I have. Now, that could be because a couple of factors, but there's one main factor that I attribute that to. And that's because I feel that the branding and the colours and everything that I've kind of done and pulled in together, it sits quite strongly. It's really recognisable. And if you're anything like me, visual aids are really important. So I'm going to jump straight into showing you what I mean rather than just talking about it. And we'll discuss it through. The other thing that I want to mention as well is I want to go through 2 options. Now, there are ways to do what I'm about to discuss free of charge, and then there are ways to do it paid. In this video, we're going to focus completely on the free stuff, because if I'm following these videos in chronological order, you're just starting. So you don't really want to invest money at this stage. We just want to get everything up and running. Then we can go back and revisit it at a later date. But you do need to start thinking about your brand and your logo and your identity. These sound like big thoughts. They don't need to be that complex. They don't need to be that detailed. But you do need to start ticking them over in your head. So let's flip straight away across to my Mixer channel. And I'm going to talk you through a little bit more about what it is that I mean. Okay, so here we are on my Mixer channel. Welcome for those of you that haven't swung past before, and those of you that haven't, what are you planning at? Come and say hi. Okay, so for those of you that haven't seen the intro video, I go by the in-game name Zeus, and that is across all of the gaming platforms that I play on. And what I wanted to bring you to my Mixer page for is to just show you about how I've kept things on brand with colours and some of the bits and pieces. How did I actually even decide on the brand or gaming name Zeus? Well, that's really simple. One of my favourite subjects in school was history, specifically ancient history. And on top of that, I really loved Greek mythology. Found it really interesting. So Zeus, punchy, on point, what I needed. You then think Zeus, you think God, you think lightning. That then comes into the colours. So with the lightning, we have the red, we have the yellow, we have the orange, and it kind of all sits well together and complements one another. Why is that important? Why am I talking to you about colours? Well, when you start going through the rest of my page and my about me and everything else, you'll see that it's on brand. And by on brand, I mean that it all links in nicely. The colours flow, can't even get my words out here, guys. The logo that I've got and the colours used in that logo flow through the rest of the page and just make it really unison, even down to things like the merchandise store where you can buy Zeus merch. On top of all that, we then kept it on brand over here with the Zeus God bot, my in-game bot that communicates with some of my streamers depending on what commands they chat and put into the chat room, should I say. And it helps start games and things, but again, it's on brand. So why do I say that I think it's important that you decide on some of this stuff before you start streaming? Well, Brilliant question. The reason why I think it's important is when we get over to our next video, we are going to start setting up our Mixer account. And whilst we're doing that, we need to start inputting some details. We need to input a username. We need to potentially create an email address we're going to use of it. Maybe even a bot at a later stage, including putting information about me. Now, I am a firm believer that you only get one opportunity or one chance to make a good first impression. So let's say, for example, that you skip this step and you go straight into making your channel and you don't really have anything that's kind of on point, on brand, or that would stand out, and you smash this latest game you're playing, and actually you put up some really good gameplay. Maybe you've got a webcam and there's some good content going on, but everything about your channel is just a bit lapse, it's a bit flat. You aren't going to get that traction of people coming back to your channel unless there's things that draw them in. And although I'm not for 1 second saying that I believe your logo and brand are the sole reasons for that, I do think that the more sleek and professional and, you know, the better it looks, the more likelihood there is of people coming back and recognizing that brand when you transfer it across to different platforms, whether you transfer to Instagram or YouTube or Discord or one of the others. Okay, so I'm hoping by this stage now you have maybe paused the video, you've maybe rewatched it at a later date, and you've thought a bit around what your brand and game and streamer name is going to be. Don't necessarily worry too much about stuff that you already use. Because if you don't think it's going to work or be strong enough for you, then this is a really good opportunity for you to change it up. So let's say that you've got something in mind at this stage and you know what you're going to do. I do also want to say at this stage that the Zeus logo that I'm using at the moment is a paid for logo, and it is something that I had designed specifically for me, but it isn't the first logo that I used. What you'll see appearing on the screen now is the logo that I actually started with, and I created this one completely free of charge. The colours were the same, so I had in my head what colours I wanted, but I used a lion. What the hell has a Greek god name got to do with a lion? I don't know. So that was, for me, one of my fails and one of the things that I needed to change, and I did. But you can create these good logos free of charge, and I will also have on the screen now, hopefully appearing another logo, and that's one that I created for a friend. Now, both these logos were created using an app on my phone called Logo Maker, and I'd really encourage you to download it. Have a look, have a flick through, maybe use that as some inspiration and settle on a logo that you think is going to work for you. Whether that be color based, whether that be the imagery, and whatever you feel that sits right. Now, I know that sometimes with some of this stuff, it can be, you know, a little bit of worry, maybe a little bit complex with trying to get the right balance. So if you do need any help or advice, at the moment I am streaming almost daily. So please feel free to come drop in. Mixer, as I've mentioned before, Zeus Gaming UK, and I'm going to link that down there in the description. If I'm not online, I do have a Discord channel again, which I'll link down below, and come and ask your questions there, and myself, one of my mods, will be more than happy to help advise and let you know what we think. Doesn't mean we're right, and we certainly will never tell you what to do. We'll only ever offer advice. So at this stage now, hopefully we're at a point where you've decided on your name, you've got an idea of branding, and you're now creating your logo. So your logo is being created, your name is in there, it's looking sleek, you've got that downloaded, and we are now on to the next stage where we are ready to set up the Mixer profile. And I would always advise anyone starting from afresh, that we try and get that initial page up and running to a good standard with content and things for people to look at. And by content, I don't mean videos, I mean links that can be clicked and things that we can go and browse on when maybe you're not online. before we do that first stream, so that when the people start coming through to your profile and you're another streamer with no views or no followers or very limited views or followers, you stand out because, well, your profile and what you've built so far looks sharp. So I'm now more interested and intrigued in what this person's about. So that's going to be it for episode 2. There will be another video to follow this, where we will begin to then set up your Mixer channel. And in the meantime, like I said, I've already mentioned my Mixer and my Discord. I have a multitude of social media channels, and I really appreciate any support you can offer or give me across any of those. They are again in the description, so please feel free to come through. Also, you have the comments below. I'd love to know what you think. I say this in every video, and I generally mean it, because this content is for you. And I'm hoping that you are enjoying what you're seeing so far. And what would also mean a great deal for me is if you could hit that subscribe button to enable me to continue to grow this channel, as well as all of my social platforms to continue offering this content. But as always, I hope we speak soon. I hope I see you in my stream. And more than anything, stay safe. And we will chat very, very soon. All the best, guys.